Before we begin, take a deep breath. Slowly, gently. Let the day fall behind you. There is nothing you need to do right now. Nothing you need to fix. Just be here with me. Maybe you're lying in bed, your blanket wrapped around you. Maybe you're resting your eyes or just letting your thoughts drift. Wherever you are, I want you to feel safe, calm, and warm. Let me tell you about a simple day in my life. Soft, slow day. Maybe while you listen, you'll feel a little more peaceful too. My day begins early when the sun starts to rise. I usually wake up around 7 in the morning. My room is quiet. The birds are singing softly outside. The air is cool. Sunlight comes through the window, golden and gentle. I open my eyes slowly and stretch my arms. I smile to myself and whisper, "Good morning." Not to anyone in particular. Just to the day, to the light, to myself. I sit on the edge of my bed for a moment. Don't rush. I just breathe and enjoy the silence. Then I walk to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I wash my face with cool water. Feels fresh and clean. I look into the mirror and smile. I don't try to fix anything. I just smile and quietly say, "You're doing okay." After that, I go to the kitchen and make some tea. Most mornings I drink chamomile tea. Sometimes it's green tea, but today, chamomile. Smells like flowers and calm. I hold the cup with both hands and sit by the window. I take slow sips one by one. Outside, the trees are moving gently in the wind. The world feels slow, feels kind, and I feel quiet inside. After tea, I stretch a little. Just simple movements. I lift my arms. I roll my shoulders. I move my head from side to side. I take another deep breath. These soft movements help my body wake up. I don't follow a strict routine. Some mornings I forget to stretch. Some mornings I sleep late. That's okay. I don't try to be perfect. I just try to be gentle. These little things, tea, light, silence, stretching, they help me feel steady. I don't need much to feel okay. A soft morning is enough. What about you? How does your morning begin? Do you like waking up early? Or do you prefer to sleep in? Do you drink tea or coffee? Or maybe just water? What helps you feel peaceful when a new day begins? After I finish my tea and stretching, the morning usually feels peaceful. But not every morning goes as planned. Sometimes life gives us little surprises. And sometimes those surprises make us laugh, even if they're a little strange. Let me tell you a funny little story. It happened last week on a Tuesday morning. That day, I was still a bit sleepy when I walked into the kitchen. I had just woken up. My eyes were half closed. I moved slowly like a turtle. I wanted to make tea just like every morning. I filled the kettle, turned it on, and reached into the cupboard to grab a jar of sugar. At least, I thought it was sugar. I made the tea, stirred it gently, and sat by the window like I always do. Everything felt normal, quiet, calm. Then I took a sip. And oh, it was awful. Salty. Very salty. I froze. My eyes opened wide. My mouth made a little bleh sound. I had accidentally put salt in my tea, salt, not sugar. I looked at the cup in shock. Then I started laughing. I laughed so hard I almost cried. I couldn't believe it. It was such a small mistake, but it felt so big in that moment. I stood up, poured out the salty tea, and made a new cup, this time with real sugar. That little moment stayed with me all day. It reminded me that life doesn't have to be perfect. Small mistakes are part of being human. Sometimes we make silly choices. We grab the salt instead of sugar. We forget where we put our keys. We say the wrong word. And it's okay. It's more than okay. It's funny. It's real. And when we can laugh at ourselves, gently, kindly, the day feels a little lighter, little softer. So now, every time I reach for the sugar, I smile. And I double-check the label. What about you? Have you ever done something silly when you were sleepy? Maybe you wore your shirt inside out or put your phone in the fridge. What's a small mistake that made you laugh later? Sometimes when the day is quiet and I'm holding a warm cup of tea in my hands, I like to think about childhood. About simpler times. Slower times. I think about when I was small. When my shoes were always a little too big and the world felt huge. There's one memory I go back to often. Soft, sweet, feels like sunshine. I was about 6 years old. It was spring, and the trees in our backyard were full of green leaves. The sky was clear. The air was warm but not too warm. I remember running outside barefoot, feeling the grass under my feet, cool and a little wet from morning dew. In the middle of the yard, there was a small patch of flowers. Yellow ones. I don't remember their name, but I remember how they danced in the breeze. I used to talk to them like little friends. I'd say, "Hello, flower. How are you today?" And in my mind they answered. One afternoon, while I was lying on the grass, looking up at the clouds, I saw something small jump beside me. It was a frog. A tiny green frog. He was just sitting there quiet and still. I didn't move. I just watched him. I remember thinking he looked wise, like he had something important to say. But of course he didn't speak. He just blinked, and then in one quick hop he was gone. I laughed. A quiet little laugh that stayed in my chest for a while. It was one of those moments that didn't need anything big. No toys. No screens. Just grass, sky, and a surprise visitor. That memory still makes me smile. It reminds me that joy can live in small things. In the feel of grass. In the color of a flower. In the visit of a frog. Sometimes the world feels busy and loud. But when I close my eyes and return to that afternoon, I remember how peaceful things can be. And I remember that part of me is still that child. Barefoot, curious, happy for no reason at all. What about you? Do you have a memory from childhood that feels soft? A small moment that still lives quietly in your heart. Maybe a smell, a sound, or a place that brings you back. As the day moves gently forward, I often think about the people who make my life feel full. Not busy, but full in the best way. People who feel like home. People who understand me, even in silence. My family. My friends. I have a small family. Just a few of us. But our love is big. My sister and I talk every week. Sometimes we laugh about small things. Sometimes we just sit in quiet on the phone, not saying much but feeling close. She's older than me. Wiser in many ways. But she still calls me her little sibling, and I don't mind. When we talk I feel safe. Feel known. My parents live in another city. We don't see each other often, but when we do, it feels like no time has passed. My mom loves to tell the same stories again and again. At first, I used to interrupt her. "Mom, you've already told me this." But now I let her speak. Because the way her voice changes when she tells them. It's like watching someone hold a memory with both hands. "Listen now." And I smile. My dad doesn't talk much, but when he laughs, it fills the room. His laugh is low and warm, like a favorite song you forgot you loved. When I hear it, something soft opens in my chest. Like a window. Like a welcome. And then, there are my friends. I don't have many. But the ones I have, I treasure deeply. We don't need to do anything special to enjoy being together. Sometimes we just sit on a bench in the park and talk about nothing at all. Or we drink tea in the kitchen, barefoot, laughing about something that only makes sense to us. Friendship doesn't always need words. Sometimes it's just the feeling of being understood without explanation. There's one friend I call when I feel overwhelmed. I don't need to say much. I just say, "Hey," and they say, "Hey," and somehow that's enough. Talk. We cry sometimes. We laugh more often. We hold space for each other. Quietly, patiently. These people, family and friends, they are the soft places I return to when life feels hard. They don't fix everything. But they remind me I don't have to carry things alone. They remind me I'm loved. Just as I am. And maybe you have someone like that too. Someone who knows how to make you smile, even when your heart feels heavy. Someone whose voice brings you peace. Maybe it's your sister. Or your dad. Or a friend from long ago. Maybe you haven't talked to them in a while. But their place in your heart, it's still there. Who are the people that make you feel safe? Who makes you laugh even on a bad day? Who feels like home to you? Sometimes when I think about comfort, I think about food. Not fancy food. Not food from a restaurant. But simple food. Warm food. Food that feels like home. In the morning I usually eat something light. A bowl of oatmeal with bananas, maybe a few strawberries, and a little bit of honey on top. The honey melts into the oatmeal, and everything becomes soft and sweet. It's not a special recipe, but it makes me feel calm. It makes me feel ready for the day. On colder mornings, I sometimes make toast. I spread peanut butter on it. The peanut butter melts just a little. Then I sit with my toast and tea by the window. Outside, the world is waking up. Inside, I'm holding something warm. And that's enough. For lunch, I like soup. Any kind, really. But I especially love tomato soup. Smooth, warm red. I eat it slowly with a piece of bread. Dipping the bread into the soup feels like a small joy. One of those quiet, gentle things that makes the middle of the day feel peaceful. Dinner is simple too. Sometimes pasta. Sometimes rice with vegetables. I like food that doesn't ask for much. Food that lets me slow down. I cook with soft music in the background, moving slowly in the kitchen, chopping, stirring, tasting. The smell of garlic or onions in the pan feels like a hug. And then, there are snacks. I love apples. Crunchy and fresh. Sometimes I dip them in honey, just like when I was little. I also like chocolate, dark chocolate, just a square or two. It melts slowly on the tongue, and I close my eyes for a second and let it be the only thing in the world. Food is more than taste. It's memory. It's emotion. It's love. There are some meals that remind me of people. My mom's homemade noodles. My friend's banana bread. Even a simple cup of tea reminds me of long conversations on quiet evenings. We all have that one dish. The one that brings us back to a place or a moment or a person. What about you? What food makes you feel warm inside? What meal reminds you of someone you love? What is your comfort food on a rainy day? Maybe it's not about the food at all. Maybe it's about how it makes you feel. When the world feels too fast, I return to the quiet things I love. The small hobbies that bring me peace. The simple dreams that keep me going. One of my favorite things to do is read. Books have always felt like friends to me. Gentle ones. Patient ones. They never rush. They just wait quietly until I'm ready to open them. I often read before bed. I like how it slows my thoughts. The pages turn slowly, and the outside world fades away. It's just me, the words, and a soft light in the room. Another thing I love is walking. Just walking. Not going anywhere special. Sometimes I go to the park. I don't need music or noise. I just listen to the wind in the trees. The crunch of my shoes on the path. The distant voices of children playing. There's something healing about walking without a destination, just being, just moving. I also love to write. Not big things. Just notes, thoughts, little stories that no one else may ever read. When I write, I feel like I can understand myself better. I can slow down, put my feelings into gentle words, and let them go. And sometimes, I dance. Alone in my room. With the curtains closed, the lights soft, and the music just loud enough to feel. I don't dance well. I don't follow steps. I just move. Freely, quietly, like my body is saying what my heart can't. And I have dreams too. They're not big, loud dreams. But they're mine. One day I'd like to write a children's book. Quiet one. With soft drawings. A book that makes a child feel safe when the world feels too loud. A book that whispers, "You are enough." I also dream of visiting small places around the world. Not for adventure but for stillness. Quiet village in Japan. A little cottage near the sea. I don't need much. Just time. Just space to breathe, to learn, to see. I don't know if all my dreams will come true. But maybe dreams aren't always about getting somewhere. Maybe they're about having something soft to hold in your heart. A light to walk toward, even slowly. What about you? What do you love to do when no one's watching? What quiet dream lives inside you? Doesn't have to be big. Just has to be yours. The weather has always had a quiet power over me. Not in a loud or dangerous way. But in a soft, emotional way. Sometimes I don't even realize how I feel until I look at the sky. On sunny days I feel open, alive. The light pours through the window like honey, and everything seems possible. I like to sit by the window with my tea, eyes closed, letting the warmth kiss my skin. The breeze is gentle, and the light makes even the dust in the air look beautiful. On those days I feel like going outside, walking slowly, smiling at strangers without needing a reason. But rainy days, there's something else. When the rain begins to fall, the world gets quieter, softer, slower. I like to light a candle, wrap myself in a blanket, and just listen. Tap, tap, tap. The sound of rain on the roof, like a lullaby for grown-ups. I read or write or simply sit. Rainy days remind me it's okay to rest, to stop, feel. Then there's spring, my favorite season. In spring, the world begins again. Trees grow tiny green leaves, flowers open their sleepy petals, and the air smells like earth and hope. It's a season of gentle beginnings, a reminder that even after long, quiet winters, life returns. Summer is warm and full. It brings bright mornings and slow, sleepy afternoons. I eat fruit with my hands, walk barefoot in the grass, and stay up a little later than usual. Everything feels wide open. Autumn, though. Autumn is poetry. The air becomes crisp. The trees wear red and gold. I wear soft scarves and make soup more often. Autumn makes me feel reflective, like the world is preparing for something sacred, something silent. And then there is winter, cold, still, and beautiful in its own way. I stay indoors more. I wear thick socks and drink warm drinks. I miss the sun sometimes, but I also enjoy the slowness, the quiet, the long nights that ask you to turn inward and rest. Each season gives me something different. Feeling, a rhythm, pace of life. I try not to fight them anymore. I let them guide me like music, like breath. What kind of weather do you love the most? Do you feel more alive in the spring, or more peaceful in the rain? Does the snow make you quiet, or playful? Wherever you are, whatever the season, I hope the sky above you brings you something gentle. Sometimes the world feels loud, fast, heavy. Even on good days my mind can be busy. Thoughts run in circles. Worries knock at the door. And when that happens, I try to return to quiet, to softness, to stillness. Relaxing is not always easy. But over time I've learned what helps me, little by little, breath by breath. When I need to relax, I start by slowing down. I stop moving. I sit or lie down. Close my eyes. I take a deep breath. In through my nose, out through my mouth, slowly, again, and again. Don't rush, just breathe. The way leaves move in the wind, quiet and calm. Sometimes I light a candle. I love watching the small flame dance. Doesn't need to be big. Just a small flicker of light in a quiet room. I sit next to it in the dark, and let the glow warm my heart. I also enjoy warm showers. When the water runs over my shoulders, I imagine it washing away the thoughts I don't need. Doubts, stress, worry. It all goes down the drain. And I come out clean, not just on the outside but inside too. Soft clothes help too. Favorite sweater. Cozy pair of socks. The feeling of fabric that says, "You're safe now. You can let go." Sometimes I play soft music. Just a piano or a quiet guitar. Music that doesn't ask for anything. That just stays in the background like a gentle friend. It fills the room without filling my head. And other times, I do nothing at all. I lie in bed. I pull the blanket up to my chin. I listen to the rain or the silence, or even my own heartbeat. And I let my body sink into the mattress, like it's being held. Like I don't have to try anymore. I just exist. And that's enough. Relaxation isn't something I chase. Something I allow. I let the moment be soft. I let myself be soft too. What about you? What helps you find peace when your mind is noisy? Do you have a ritual, a cup of tea, a warm bath, a walk in the evening? Do you like silence? Or music? Do you read? Or simply breathe? Whatever helps you return to yourself, I hope you give it space. Often. Gently. You deserve to feel safe. You deserve to feel at rest. Some nights, when the world is quiet and I'm lying in bed with my eyes half closed, I start to dream. Not the kind of dream that comes when I'm asleep, but the kind that comes from my heart. soft, slow dreams about places I want to see. Not to escape, but to feel, to remember, to return to something gentle inside me. One of the places I long to visit is Japan. I imagine walking through a garden where the cherry blossoms fall like soft pink snow. The air is still. My footsteps are quiet on the stone path. I see a temple ahead, its roof curved like a smile. Everything is slow there. Everything is kind. I'd like to sit on a wooden bench, drink warm tea from a tiny cup, and just listen to the wind moving through the trees. I also dream of visiting a little village in the south of Italy. Quiet one by the sea. I imagine narrow streets and colorful buildings with clothes hanging from balconies. I can smell tomatoes, garlic, and bread baking in someone's kitchen. In the evening, I would sit outside with a bowl of pasta and watch the sun melt into the ocean. The sky turns orange, then purple, then blue. And I just breathe. Another dream of mine is to visit a quiet lake in Canada. Cabin in the woods. A fireplace, a warm blanket, and a big window looking out to the water. In the early morning, the lake is still. Maybe there's fog. Maybe not. I would sit with a journal, write slow thoughts, and feel like time has paused. Just for a moment. I don't need crowds. I don't need to take pictures. I don't even need to do much. My heart longs for places that feel quiet, sacred, natural. Places where the world moves slowly. Where people smile softly. Where I can be alone but never lonely. To me, travel is not about going far. It's about going deep. Deep into new cultures. New feelings. New parts of myself. And maybe one day I'll go to these places. Or maybe I won't. Maybe the dream itself is enough. Maybe just imagining the cherry blossoms or the sea in Italy, or the lake in the woods. Maybe that already brings me peace. What about you? Is there a place your heart whispers about? Somewhere you've always wanted to go. Not to escape, but to feel more alive, more whole, more free. What kind of place calls to you? Is it quiet? Or full of music? Is it by the sea? Or deep in the forest? Is it somewhere far? Or somewhere close? Whatever it is, I hope you visit it, if not in person, then at least in your dreams. Tonight, as we near the end of this quiet journey together, I want to talk about something we both understand. Something you and I are both walking through, step by step, word by word. Learning a language. For many people, learning a new language feels like school. Like rules. Like pressure. But for me, it has become something softer. Something more human. Language is not just grammar and vocabulary. It's connection. It's a way to say, I see you, hear you. I want to understand you. I remember the first time I said a full sentence in another language. It was small, maybe only 5 words. But it felt big. My heart beat faster. Smiled. And the person listening smiled back. That was the moment I realized. Learning a language isn't about perfection. It's about presence. I don't always get it right. Forget words. I mix up tenses. I pause mid-sentence, searching for the right sound. But every time I try, I feel myself getting a little closer, not just to fluency but to people, to stories, to other ways of seeing the world. I love how languages carry feeling. In some languages, there are words for things that don't exist in my own. A word for the smell of rain. A word for missing someone deeply. A word for the quiet happiness of sitting with a friend in silence. Learning a language opens more than your mind. It opens your heart. Teaches patience. Teaches humility. It teaches courage, the quiet kind of courage that says, I may sound silly, but I will try anyway. Every time I learn a new word, it feels like planting a seed. I may not see the flower today or tomorrow, but one day it will bloom. And I will understand something I couldn't before. I think that's why I love language. Because it reminds me we are all trying to understand each other. To bridge the distance between me and you. And every word we learn is a step closer. So if you're listening to this now, if you're learning English, if you're practicing slow listening, if you're whispering new words in the dark, I want you to know, I'm proud of you. You're doing something brave. Something beautiful. It's not always easy. But it's worth it. What about you? Why do you want to learn a new language? Is it to travel? to work, to make new friends. Or maybe, it's just for you to feel more connected to the world. Whatever the reason, I hope you keep going. One word at a time. One sentence. One story. Even tonight. This quiet moment. It's part of your learning. And that means even while you rest, you're growing. And now, my friend, we've come to the end of this quiet journey. Thank you for walking beside me, through the soft morning light, through small stories and gentle memories, through food, dreams, weather, and words. Maybe your eyes are getting heavy now. Maybe your body is already sinking into the bed. Maybe your heart feels just a little softer. A little lighter. That's enough for tonight. You've listened. You've breathed. You've slowed down. And that is more than enough. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know all the words. You only have to rest. So now close your eyes. Let the world grow quiet. Let your breath move gently in and out. In and out. Feel your body relaxing slowly, kindly. Feel your thoughts becoming softer. You are safe now. You are warm. You are loved. You've done enough for today. Now let the day go. Let the night hold you. And let sleep come like a friend, slow and kind. May your dreams be peaceful. May your heart feel full. May you wake tomorrow with new light inside you. Good night, my friend. Sleep well. Before you drift off completely, if this podcast helped you relax, if it brought you peace, or made you smile even just once, I'd love for you to stay connected. You can subscribe to this channel so you never miss a gentle story. There will be more slow English, more cozy talks, more soft moments, just like this. And if you feel like sharing, leave a comment below. Tell me, what part of today's story did you enjoy most? What did you learn? Or simply say hello, I'd love to hear from you. Your words mean more than you know. This is not just a podcast. It's a quiet little corner where we grow together, slowly, kindly, one word at a time. So until next time, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And sweet, sweet dreams.